Hollow Knight was a mostly slow-paced, serene, exploration-based Metroidvania with hard, Souls-like combat and bosses. Silksong is a fast-paced action platformer with Souls-like respawn mechanics and combat set in a Metroidvania world. The world design is genuinely amazing. The non-linearity and the way everything seems to connect on the map really is impressive. I don't think it's quite as open-ended as Hollow Knight was, but Silksong does this thing where it feels much more linear than it is, which is pretty cool. Despite all of this, I've somehow never wanted to explore a Metroidvania world less, or a Souls-like world. And I think so far I've thought about it enough to mostly figure out why. I thought Silksong was going to be my favorite game of the year easily. I want to dive into why I think it's not, and why I think the reception has been so surprisingly mixed, and why it's not actually about the difficulty, like at all. Hollow Knight was a game. Silksong is a gauntlet. Silksong asks you to play the game perfectly before it even lets you learn how to play the game. So I think that because this is supposed to be a hard game, people are just kind of forgetting the fact that it's also supposed to be fun for people. I'm not just saying the game isn't fun, and if you find it fun, believe me, I'm just jealous that I can't have that feeling with this game. I want to love this game. I feel like I'm supposed to. The fact that Silksong is a hard game is making those that love the game think other people aren't liking it because they're just bad. Completely ignoring the fact that a lot of the biggest complaints are coming from some of the biggest Hollow Knight fans. I'm telling you, this is not like Elden Ring. I don't think the negative reaction is from people that had never heard of Silksong before it came out. Sure, some of it is, but the vast majority of it, I think, is from people who have been really looking forward to the game. And people that aren't disappointed are pissed that anyone could be. Just to prove again that I think I am supposed to be the target audience for this game. My two favorite games of all time are Dark Souls 1 and Super Metroid. That is pretty much what Hollow Knight is. Super Metroid style level design with Dark Souls combat. Even charms in the first game feel more like finding cool Dark Souls items out in the world than they do just like finding super missiles or whatever. So yeah, obviously Hollow Knight was way up my alley. I don't remember when I first heard of it, but I was way excited for it to come out and I played it day one. I just think Hollow Knight is one of the best Metroidvanias ever. And it has a perfect amount of that fear of the unknown that Dark Souls games do really well. Sadly, I just don't get any of that from Silksong. The game doesn't feel like a Metroidvania anymore. I'm now replaying the first Hollow Knight just to make sure my feelings were justified, because I haven't played it since I beat it when it came out, and I can just easily say that it is a much more fun game to explore. You know, if you play these games just for the bosses and the difficulty, yeah, I'm sure you are gonna love it, but that has just never been me. I love the exploration and I love finding new cool things. Hollow Knight has so much more of that. There can be a lot of backtracking in the game too, but it's quick and fun and you don't have to know the layout of every room like the back of your hand just to get around. Silksong, I swear to God, every single new room you enter, you have to learn immediately just to even get through the room. You have to learn it like as well as speedrunners had to learn Hollow Knight. Again, I don't think Silksong is too hard. I just think the fact that it is supposed to be hard is... But I think because we knew it was going to be hard before it came out, that's obfuscating the fact that there are just some genuinely horrible game design decisions, mostly QOL decisions, quality of life stuff, and people are just blindly accepting of it because, of course, the game's supposed to be hard. In reality, there's just way less care and attention given to creating a good player experience and giving them the quality of life to have a good time in the game. I don't know. It's just unrewarding, it's unforgiving, it's honestly sometimes unfair. Not bosses or anything. I think all the bosses especially are really good. Almost all of them. Right? Every other time there's a game like this that's too hard, people are having problems with bosses. Have you noticed that that's not the case for Silksong? Everyone just has problems with like money or the double damage, or no one has a problem with bosses. That's because the boss designs are really good, other than they're way too tanky. You basically have to learn every single boss hit list just to get past it, which should be its own challenge, whatever. So I don't think any of this is a problem. Team Cherry clearly wanted to design the game to be as ruthless as possible, and then also not do very much to make you feel rewarded for your efforts of getting past this ruthless level design. They don't really do much to alleviate your struggle. Actually, it feels like most effort went exclusively into making you struggle. The way I would over and over again get past some annoying jump section filled with tanky flying enemies, just to be thrown in the next room right back into more of it again and again and again, with very little respite, very little slower moments to break up the pace of the game. And it really reminds me way more of like a Kaizo Mario level, or I Want to Be the Guy, than any Souls game or Metroidvania ever has. Well, except La Mulana. I've never made a video like this, by the way, so hopefully you're enjoying it. Like the video if you are, and subscribe if you want to see more. All my other videos so far have been about movies, and I think they're super fun, so if you want to see me talk about movies, go check it out. No, the game is not too hard. I do not have a problem with hard games. The problem here is the game design itself does not reward you properly for overcoming its challenges. Actually, it actively punishes you for attempting challenges, which is so motivation draining. The game being hard is confusing people who enjoy it into just thinking that these frustrating things are just good game design because it's hard. No, it can make the game harder and still be badly designed, even if the intent is fulfilled of the game is now harder. Does that just mean it's good? You could design it to be harder in a way that is fun. The perfect example of this is Sister Splinter, probably the easiest fight in the entire game that they realized was too easy. So instead of like giving the boss a third move or I don't know, doing anything to make it more fun, they just have her spawn these two little Tasmanian devil assholes. And then you kill them and they keep respawning and keep respawning. And again, every boss is so tanky, it just feels like your time is being wasted. Did you only enjoy Hollow Knight because it's hard? Did you only enjoy Elden Ring because it's hard? Like, I 100% cleared Elden Ring, obviously didn't find it too hard, but I loved that game so much that if I had found anything too hard to get past, I would have just modded the game or something, like to be able to experience past it, you know what I mean? I don't know if this makes enough sense, but that's why I don't even think you could mod Silksong to make the experience more enjoyable. Yeah, you're gonna make it easier, but it'd be like modding the impossible game to be easier, or getting over it to be easier. What's even the point of playing it anymore then? Just don't play it. But that's because the only experience you're getting from the game is overcoming difficulty. There's no more to the game than that. Silksong, there's supposed to be so much more to the game than hard room, frustrating room, annoying room. I don't know. In Silksong, I just feel like the difficulty is so deeply baked into every aspect of the game that I barely feel like there's any fun to be had unless you're specifically playing it to challenge yourself. And that's why I don't think they should nerf the game. There's already a patch making things easier. I don't really think number changes are gonna fix the design problems. I just don't want to play this game at all. I'm sorry. To me, a hard game is only fun when the difficulty is like a byproduct of the game being good and challenging, right? When the difficulty is a byproduct of the game direction, not the difficulty is the game direction. Does that make sense? I'm sorry. I just don't think it's supposed to be a Kaizo game. This isn't Jump King. Why is every single room a giant parkour level? Why do you get to the end of a Celeste platforming gauntlet and so often instead of getting an upgrade or opening a shortcut like other Metroidvanias, I just get locked into a tiny room fighting waves of enemies, or a damaged sponge boss, or a room with literally nothing, and then it's right back to doing more precision platforming. This game only has one tone: aggression, violence, speed, momentum. It's high octane gameplay all the time, and it never feels like you get a break from it. Team Cherry's game design for this game is to never hand you a bone for doing anything, but they're so unbelievably quick to punish you for making the slightest mistake. It's too much. It's too unforgiving to ever feel truly rewarding. Like, you're just relieved. You're just happy you're done. You're just happy you don't have to do it again. Especially when you're literally not being rewarded. I don't understand how so many of the bosses and hard enemy rooms just give you nothing. you just get past it. I love the satisfaction that comes with beating a hard boss, especially in a Souls game. And Silksong I just don't feel that. After overcoming a hard encounter, instead of being like, woo, I did it, it's just like, okay, what's next in the gauntlet? And you're just still stressed. You're not happy to beat it. You're stressed about what the next room is all the time. At least I was. And when you do find something every once in a while, it's usually just a silk upgrade that feels useless for way too long. A mask upgrade that's never exciting like they were in the first game, mostly due to needing 8 before finally being able to take a 4th hit from bosses without healing. Or you'll just find a flea that will eventually reward you if you have enough of them. I don't know what it is. In the first game, I'd get excited to find a grub, and in this game, finding a flea is like, really? Why can't this be so? I think it's because too often other times you're not feeling that way. Or you'll also literally find some secret area and just get $10, 10 rosary beads. Bro, half the time you attack the beads to get them off and they fly into the spikes littered haphazardly across every screen of everywhere. Or again, you'll just get literally an empty room with nothing. I know Hollow Knight has those. Usually they'd at least be like lore. I don't know, man. I never, even from finding a useless room in Hollow Knight or a room with something I'm not going to use, it never felt so pointless. Something that I think might help the game feel a lot better and a lot more rewarding is just more upgrades. Like more actual upgrades. What if there were like 4 pieces of armor you could pick up to make you take less damage, just like the mask shards, you know, and then by the end of Act 1, you could be taking half damage and you'd be able to get so much easier around Act 1 after that. That might actually feel so good. I don't know. The game just needs more actually fun things to collect and reasons you want to explore. I truly think they just lost the Metroidvania vision here. They dove too deep into getting good at their game and thinking that more challenging equals more fun. You make it harder, they're gonna have more fun. Harder means more fun. The crest system is really cool and I think was the perfect wasted opportunity to add more other types of upgrades and build around it, other than just use it to make an even more restrictive charm system than Hollow Knight had. Luckily, I think I said this earlier, but there are some pretty good bosses. The biggest problem with them is I don't get why they're so lacking in movesets. There are some Souls bosses you fight that have so many moves you don't even get to see them all, especially if you like first try kill them. Imagine how much better Widow or Fourth Chorus especially would be if they had more moves. And I said this earlier too, but they also have so much health that by the time you're getting close to beating a boss, every time you're gonna be scratching your head like, okay, I'm done. I did it. I know how to do the boss. It should be done. Why won't it die? I just don't feel motivated to get to the cool bosses. Something I should never be feeling in such a beautifully detailed game. Normally these kind of games give me huge FOMO, or that is what drives me to beat a hard boss that I might be stuck on. The literal FOMO of not seeing the rest of the game, not seeing the next area, not getting to the next boss, you know what I mean? And I just never thought Silksong would... Other people already don't like backtracking in games. I love it. That's why I love Metroidvanias. I love getting strong and then I love getting strong, getting new upgrades, and then slowly combing back over earlier sections of the map to find things you missed and to hunt for secrets. But again, I think every single screen is way too over-designed for me to ever want to do this. Imagine if in Jump King, instead of just going up, you had to go up to get a key, then take it back down and way to the left, opening a door that lets you break a wall way to the right, where you go deep down into the fucking Great Hollow and Ash Lake to find some bullshit that actually lets you get to the top of Jump King. That's just how Silksong feels to me. The act of backtracking is already tedious. It's insane to add more tedium to it. Exploring a new area, especially in a Souls-like or Metroidvania, is supposed to be really exciting and really fun, but instead in Silksong it just feels tiring. Imagine Celeste, but it's getting over it. With Kaizo, troll player hating level design, and a Souls-like bonfire respawn system with Bloodborne 2D combat and Quicksilver bullets. Miserable. Why? Why, Team Cherry? Why don't you want me to have fun in your cute bug video game? Why do you guys hate quality of life so much? QOL doesn't make things easier. This is easily one of the least accommodating for the player having a good experience games I've ever seen. I hate it when games, especially Metroidvanias, don't like letting you get strong. You never feel stronger. In this game, you never feel stronger. You just get faster and better at moving around while everything else gets stronger. Like, I know there's nail upgrades, but come on. Come on. It is not enough. Hollow Knight was about exploring a world and finding things to upgrade your character and make you feel strong so that you can overcome more challenges and so that you want to reach every nook and cranny and find everything. Silksong's exploration is a slog. Why would I want to go hunting for secrets in Getting Over It or Celeste? Well, Celeste you can, but you wouldn't want to do that in Celeste if the whole map linked up and you had to physically move. You know, I really weirdly think they got so caught up in making this huge, hard, yet beautiful looking experience that they forgot that it's also like a children's video game and the focus of it should probably be to let your players have fun. I don't know, man. I've played and loved and even defended a lot of games that have been too hard, including every From Software game. And yeah, the game's hard, but it is not too hard. It's just more hard than it is fun. It's more tedious than it is rewarding. That's why I'm really sad to say it, but I don't see how anyone can argue that Silksong is on the same level even as Hollow Knight. I just don't. There's a magical sense of wonder and getting lost in that game that just doesn't translate to Silksong. I don't think I've said this enough, that it's not a bad game. I don't think it's a bad game. But anyone calling it a masterpiece is coping because of their blind love for Hollow Knight. Or coping because of what I want to call difficulty ego syndrome. Because everyone knows that being bad at something automatically means you have to hate it, right? Just like being good at something automatically means you have to love it. It's obviously never possible to like a video game unless you're also better than everyone else at it. The whole get good thing has become weirdly cult-like. Anything other than the max agreement that it's genius, perfect game design that can never be touched means that you're not a real member of the community, or you're a troll, or you're just bad. It's like the Drake community of video games. I even like boss runbacks, and I think the ones in this game are fine too. Yes, even Biowater. But it is just making a boss harder arbitrarily because it's hard to even get to the boss. You know, even Elden Ring obviously figured out how much more fun it is to make the boss hard and not the way to the boss hard. Also, the fact that in Hollow Knight, most flying enemies either flew straight at you or kind of hovered around doing their own things and shooting stuff at you. In Silksong, they are all purposefully flying just out of reach. And you jump towards them and they fly away. They like have tracking to your controller. It's so... And they also take 3 to 6 hits instead of like 2 to 4. And they're only even there in the first place to make the platforming harder, to be obstacles in the way of the already stupidly annoying platforming. I have to say too, with the platform, I also don't have a problem with pogoing. I started getting other crests, and by that time I was already used to Hornet's diagonal pogoing, so I didn't even switch off. It's not the fact that the parkour is too hard, it's the fact that it's way too much. Not every room has to be parkour. Not every screen in Silksong has to be a screen from Celeste. Why can't some rooms just be rooms? The only rooms like that are the empty ones. I'm really surprised and disappointed, but I just do not see where the 7 years of development time went. I really don't. I don't understand how this couldn't have come out 2 or 3 years ago. Other than the art and some of the cool little details like the peeping flea in the sauna, or a few of the quests that I did like, to me it really feels like Team Cherry just spent 7 years power creeping themselves out of reality. The game had basically no beta testers, and it shows. I'm telling you, it's like when I used to make Mario Maker levels and I'd swear they're too easy, so I'd keep tinkering with it because I've been sitting there perfecting it while playing it. and designing it, right? Then I let my friends and family play the level and they're like, what the fuck is this? Like, they have no idea what to do. It's obviously it's not actually comparable to that. I'm not a level designer. Although if you could see some of the stuff I would make on Halo 3 Forge especially, you could be convinced I'm a level designer. My Mario Maker levels too, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, Silksong isn't for me. But again, I just feel like it's kind of supposed to be for me. And that makes me really think that they dropped the ball. I would never be gushing so much about being disappointed about a game that I wasn't excited about, that I didn't think I was going to love. I would just drop it and not care. I do care that I dropped this game. I really care, because I thought I was going to explore every inch of it and play it for weeks straight. I never want to touch it again. Oh, I don't even think I've said where I'd stop. Very quickly after starting Act 2, I'm just like, I don't think I'm having fun. It's crazy. It was crazy realizing that, but I'm like, I would much rather not play more. Sounds more fun to not play more. Okay, dude. I've been looking forward to playing Hollow Knight 2 for 7 years. And other than the art direction and character design, it just does not feel like that's what I got. The game isn't too hard. I don't think there's an issue with rosaries or double damage or pogoing or whatever, like a lot of other people do. But I think the reason that people are complaining about those things is because it just adds to what is already such a draining, unrewarding experience. So anyways, go ahead and tell me that it's a skill issue and that I need to get good. Just keep ignoring the fact that the game itself has a lot of fundamental problems. At the very least, more than the first one had. I was supposed to have a video out like a week ago that got lost. Basically, as soon as I finished the video, my laptop bricked. So this is now completely different than anything on my channel so far. Hopefully you guys still enjoy it. I think it was literally in my last video that I said I'm not going to change the main channel content. But yeah, then I lost a video that I worked for 3 weeks on. Like, I just wanted to put something out. And I also really wanted to rant about Silksong because I was so excited for it and so disappointed by it. So let me know if you liked this. Let me know if you want more casual, like, rants like this. I think it's fun. Hopefully one day I'll be able to afford an editor and I can get out a bunch more banger filmography videos for you guys, because seriously, the editing is tough for me. Anyways, like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.